So the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone Audible full cast audiobook is out, and I've listened to it, and I have thoughts. So let's just jump right into it. So first off, people who have only listened to the Jim Dale version or have only read the Scholastic version of the Harry Potter books are gonna feel like they're having a Mandela effect while they listen to this, because this is the British version. But where they say Philosopher's Stone, they say Sorcerer's Stone, and that's the only change that is in this. So I think everywhere outside of the US that is getting this, where it says Sorcerer's Stone, it will say Philosopher's Stone. But in America, it says Sorcerer's Stone. But everything else is going to be the British version of the book. So if you're confused while listening to this, that is why. But let's talk about the performance. Like that was a thing that when I first started listening to it, I was like, Dudley said shan't. This is the UK version. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to wait. Are they going to do something crazy and instead of say Sorcerer's Stone, even though the book cover says Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, have it say Philosopher's Stone for the purposes of maybe when the HBO show comes out, they're not going to have a difference between regions. It's just going to be the Philosopher's Stone. No, it's still Sorcerer's Stone. But the performance in this is, I think, great. I think some standout actors are, I like Dumbledore. I've heard some people complain that Dumbledore isn't good. I thought Mark Addy as Rubeus Hagrid, fantastic. There were points where I kept thinking, you're just doing your Robert Baratheon from Game of Thrones voice. But after a while, it was like, no, he feels right as Hagrid. It feels like a mix of what Robbie Coltrane did and how Stephen Fry read it. And I like it. I thought it worked. I think different aspects of this made me excited for future books, such as Peeves. Like, I was laughing with the way that Peeves was presented in this. It was great, and I cannot wait until Chamber comes out next month to see more Peeves, because Peeves is gold in Chamber of Secrets, because he literally just follows Harry around and harasses him, or, when he's making fun of Moaning Myrtle. Another thing that I'm excited about is Prisoner of Azkaban. The way that the Quidditch match was performed was great, and Prisoner of Azkaban is peak Quidditch in the books. Like, yeah, you get the Quidditch World Cup in Goblet of Fire, but, one of my favorite things in Prisoner of Azkaban is the Quidditch, and I'm excited to see how that all goes, because it's exciting the way Jim Dale reads it. I can only imagine how exciting it's going to be when you hear the crowd cheering and, the announcement and all that. It's going to be good. I'm excited for that. And it's just, seeing some of these other characters. We get a hint at Charlie, who doesn't come in until Goblet of Fire. So it's fun that, some of these little voices that, here's a little part, but they're coming back for a bigger part later. And I know I did that little sneak peek and was talking about how Arabella Stanton really was pulling from Hermione in that first scene, and that's it. I think the rest of the book, she kind of makes it her own, and I think she was good. I'm excited to see how she plays Chamber of Secrets and Prisoner of Azkaban, and then eventually plays the same character in live action, because I think she embodies the character very well. I also like, there's that little scene when they're trying to keep an eye out for Snape, and Ron goes, yeah, just hang out in front of the teacher's lounge, and if they ask you, just be like, oh, Professor, I'm so worried about my schools. And the thing that you can get with the full cast audio dramas like this is you get the overlap of conversations. Like, he's talking like that and you get her going, shut up. You don't get that with Jim Dale or Stephen Fry, because of course he's reading the line, he reads the next line. And I think we got a little bit of that with Fred and George. That one's weird because Fred and George are played by the same voice actor. So it's kind of like, it seems like he's just reading all the lines, but hopefully they'll get it to where it's, they're interrupting each other and saying things at the same time, and they just kind of have him do two different takes to have it sound like two different people. But all in all, I was really impressed. And also, for you Doctor Who fans, you get two masters in one book. Just saying. You get the Missy Master and the Sacha Dhawan Master, which I was sitting there listening to Quirrell the entire time, because I always felt like Riz Ahmed sounded very much like Sacha Dhawan's master. better the way he presented Snape. And then I'm sitting there listening to Quirrell and I'm like, they sound very similar. But it was hard to tell with Quirrell with his stutter until the final reveal that Quirrell is the bad guy the entire time. And you're like, I'm sitting there thinking, that's Sasha Dewan. Did they really actually get another master in this? Yes, they did. And Matthew McFadden as Voldemort, this one's a tricky one because we only get a few lines of Voldemort in this, and it's very much similar to Jim Dale. I know he even said in interviews that he tried to do the Ralph Fiennes of Voldemort, and the producer was like, no, can you do it a little bit higher? Can you do it a little bit higher? And in this, he's more of a raspy voice. Use the boy, which is very much how Jim Dale reads it. And I thought it was good. I'm hesitantly optimistic to see how he plays fully formed Voldemort. Unfortunately, we're going to have to wait 3 months for that, for Goblet of Fire, because I don't know if Matthew McFadden is going to be playing Tom Riddle as well, because they haven't announced that yet. But we'll find out. He may just be playing Voldemort, and we'll have a different actor playing Tom Riddle, who will play that in book 2 as well as book 6. So all in all, I enjoyed it. There were a couple points where the noises in the background were just a little too much. Like the Foley artists were just going a little too heavy on it. I know I talked about in the sneak peek video, and if you haven't watched that, make sure to check it out. But in that video, I talked about the review that CNET had where it was recorded in Dolby Atmos surround sound and spatial audio. So like they didn't recommend it, but I was recommending probably putting both headphones in if you have like AirPods and putting on the spatial audio. But I listened to it both in my headphones, on my phone speaker on, and in the car. And honestly, I think it was fully designed to be played in the car for the whole family to be sitting in the car on a road trip listening to Harry Potter, because the sound just kind of surrounds you, and the balancing that you hear in your headphones, because I know I had a couple people comment that they had listened to it a little bit and it sounded funky. It's very well balanced in a car. So if you were trying to figure out how am I going to listen to it, headphones, fine. Car, probably the best way to listen to it. So I think that's it. If I get any more news for Chamber of Secrets, like big casting announcements, we'll talk about it. If we get a sneak peek for it, I was really hoping the end of this book would have a sneak peek for it, but Audible was like, no, Audible, thanks you for your listening. And then recommended Alchemized, which the very beginning of that is very boring, and I'm not interested in it. I understand it's a Harry Potter fan fiction that has been rethemed, but not really interested in it. So that's it for me. As always, stay marvelous. Make sure to like and subscribe. Knox.